Hi guys, I'm so glad to be back here with you today. You know, I celebrated a birthday this week and I am so grateful to God for another year. Hey, this is what you guys can do for me. If you can subscribe and click on the little bell on the bottom, that will give me a wonderful birthday gift this week. Thank you so much for your kindness and thinking about me in this way. So hey, you know, last week we kind of touched a little bit about what I do, my role in modern day society as far as organizational development and so forth. And today I want to kind of just touch a little bit on some occupations of the Bible. And one of the things I did while I was researching is I looked at a lot of trades that people had that weren't necessarily thought of as being important, but they were in some sense. So in my research, I decided today to talk a little bit about the clothing dyers in the Bible. They were not mentioned per se by name, but we know that they were important because of the magnificent colors produced for garments and for rugs and different things during these times. So let's dig right in. The colors in the Bible described for clothing and all of those magnificent uniforms and, you know, areas of clothing and garment and all that stuff was just brilliant. You know, because of the reproduction of mass clothing today, we find that the clothing dyer is not as important. But based on what archaeologists they found, they have discovered tons of Palestinian dyers workshops, and this helped to kind of validate that these people were important and this was a valuable trade. So the art of fabric dyeing was customary during the time of Exodus. When we look at Exodus 25:5, or I think it's Judges 5:30, we learn of the tabernacle covered with ram skins, and these skins were dyed in red. In the book of Ezekiel, he likewise spoke of dyed clothing. There's also much proof in the Bible of superb dyeing during the life of Moses as well. So colors of all kind were highly available during this time. You know, if we think of Joseph's coat of many colors here, questions we can ask is, how did these colors come to life? How were they made? And who turned white into red, crimson, red, or green? As I gathered more information on this fascinating subject, I was led to the book of Judges once again. In Judges 10:1, the names of Tola and his son Pual was also the name of was also a name of a clan, but they were also names of colors. For instance, Tola means scarlet red, and Pual was also the name of another dye that was actually a plant matter that is known as turkey red today. Turkey red was used to dye fabrics such as cotton. In fact, what I've decided to do this year is try to dye cotton here in Colorado. I'm not sure how successful I'm going to be, but I'm taking cue from the mountains in China where cotton is grown exponentially. I plan to show you my progress in a later video. So turkey red was also, as I said earlier, was also used on wool, and it was used on wool that was kind of dingy looking. So it was used on this form of fabric fiber to make rugs for the homes of the people of these regions. In fact, one of the things that I found out while doing my research was that small towns near the city of Damascus, the fathers of these towns would grow fields of madder or turkey red, and these were grown as inheritance for their sons. The Phoenicians were experts at dyeing, and the Jews were able to acquire this secretive skill. In fact, there were reportedly or are reportedly markers throughout the areas Jesus walked depicting the talents of dyers in this region. In the New Testament, specifically in Jerusalem, dyeing fabric was a thriving trade. Both animal and vegetable dyes were used. For me, for milder, more daintier colors, I have used flowers. Here's one of my recent projects. Although clothes dyeing as a trade is not popular today, as a child my mother used to always dye fabric for the clothing she made. She is a designer and a seamstress, and from time to time she'll still do this. In my research, I found a few places in the United States still offering this service as a way of income. I also discovered many people in the United States searching for clothes dyers. Perhaps as a part-time gig, learning about this trade could be lucrative. Let's look at Acts 16:14, the story of Lydia of Thyatira, who presented her company at Philippi. The verse tells us one of those listening was a woman from the city of Thyatira named Lydia, a dealer in purple cloth. She was a worshiper of God, it tells us. The Lord opened her heart to respond to Paul's message. A clothing dyer may not likely be your trade, but it warrants the idea that if it worked for Lydia, it can probably work for you, right? The key to making a trade work is for it to be something society needs, and in integrity and price fairness delivered by you. At the end of this video, I will supply a few pointers and people who are in this business what you would need to do to get started, and also provide you with some marketing ideas. I'll also leave some information in the comment field as well. So guys, thank you so much for watching my video today. I wish you a great rest of the week. If you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment as well, and I'll be happy to respond to you. Until then, have a great week, and I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.